Hi students, today we are going to see about color code for carbon resistors. Resistors are actually, it is used to control the flow of current, that is called a resistor. And color code we are going to see. Suppose if we see here there are different diagrams, that is for carbon resistor used in the laboratory. And so you see the various color codes here. From this color code you can identify what is the value of that particular resistor. So here usually in a laboratory you will be given a resistor and you have to find out the particular value. So carbon resistor consists of a ceramic core on which a thin layer of crystalline carbon is deposited. So actually this is carbon layer because carbon is an insulator. So this can be used as a resistor here, and here there is one tabular column given, color and a particular number assigned for each color and multiplier. Multiplier means this number is taken to be the power of 10. So here various colors are given: black, brown, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet, grey, white and gold, silver, colorless. So these colors will be given a particular number, and by seeing the color you can assign the values to that and you can identify the value of a particular resistor. So coming to this diagram, we are having a three colored rings here. The first color is green, then blue, orange, and this is golden ring. Green is given the value of 5 and blue is given the value of 6. Usually these represent the significant figures. And this third ring is orange, whose number assigned is 3. So that is given to the power of 10. That is usually taken as power of 10, and this is the golden ring. So the value is first digit green, so 5. The second digit 6 because it is blue, and the decimal multiplier 10 per 3 because orange is having value 3. So it is given as power of 10, so 10 per 3. And the tolerance is 5% because here the gold ring is used. Suppose silver or colorless rings are used, then that particular value can be substituted. So by seeing the carbon resistor, you can find out what is the value of that particular resistor. And there is one short way to remember this: B.B. Roy, Great Britain, very good wife. I will write that and show you later. And next we are going to see about temperature dependence of resistivity. Here resistivity means specific resistance. So resistance is different from resistivity. Here the resistivity of the material is dependent on temperature. When temperature increases, the resistivity also increases. And usually the formula is rho T is equal to rho naught into 1 plus alpha into T minus T naught. Here rho is the symbol for resistivity. And rho T means resistivity at temperature T, and rho naught is that specific resistance at any particular temperature, and alpha temperature coefficient of resistance, and T any temperature, and T naught is the specific temperature or reference temperature. So from this you can define what is temperature coefficient of resistivity. So temperature coefficient of resistivity is defined as a ratio of increase in resistivity per degree rise in temperature to, so here the 2 is the conjunction word, to the resistivity at T naught. So suppose you are increasing the temperature by a degree, 1 degree rise is taken, and for 1 degree rise, what is the rise in resistivity? That value of resistivity divided by resistivity at T naught. So here this expression is simplified and alpha is found out. Alpha is temperature coefficient of resistivity, which is given by rho T minus rho naught by rho naught into T minus T naught. Here the delta represents, delta rho is change in resistivity and delta T is change in temperature. So the main formula is alpha is equal to delta rho by rho into delta T. So this is over. Next, alpha of conductors, and conductors means which can conduct current easily, and alpha is temperature coefficient of resistivity. For conductors, alpha is positive. So as the temperature increases, what happens to the kinetic energy of electrons? Kinetic energy of electrons also increases, and so here you are having the increase in resistivity and so alpha is positive for conductors. So the resistivity increases. The graph is given in the diagram. So here when you see the diagram, temperature in x-axis and resistivity in y-axis, you will get a graph like this. And here when you see near the origin, there is a curve. So here the curve is straight line. Here the line is straight, whereas here it is curved, because at lower temperatures alpha is not linear, whereas for higher temperatures alpha is linear. This is magnified and is shown here. This is resistivity for conductor, and this region is non-linear region. And so here the resistance is directly proportional to resistivity. So you can write, instead of rho t, you can substitute R. Rho is replaced by R. So RT is so here the equation is RT is equal to R naught into 1 plus alpha t minus t naught. The symbol rho is replaced by R. Rho is resistivity, R is the resistance. And here also you can find out alpha. Alpha is temperature coefficient of resistance, which is given by the equation RT minus R naught divided by R into T minus T naught, and this is replaced by delta R. T minus T naught is replaced by delta T. So alpha is equal to 1 by R naught into delta R by delta T, and this is the temperature coefficient of resistance. Next, alpha for semiconductors. Alpha is usually negative for semiconductors, because for semiconductors the resistivity decreases with increase in temperature. Because when the temperature increases, more electrons will be liberated, and so the conduction is more. So current increases, and therefore the resistivity decreases. So semiconductor will have negative temperature coefficient of resistance. And when you see the graph between temperature and resistivity, you will have a line like this, where that when the temperature increases, the resistivity slowly decreases. So this is the difference between conductor and semiconductor. And there is a table given for different materials, silver, copper, gold. There is different material, and these are conductors, and this is semiconductor. And for conductors the value is positive, and for the semiconductors the values are negative. So this is the difference. And here what is sigma? Rho. Sigma is conductivity and rho is resistivity. Conductivity sigma is equal to, you already seen this formula, Ne square tau by m, whereas reciprocal of conductivity is resistivity, which is given by rho is equal to the reciprocal of this expression. And here when you see the resistivity is inversely proportional to N and inversely proportional to tau. N means number of electrons per unit volume, and tau is average time interval between two successive collisions. So here when you see the resistivity of materials is inversely proportional to number density n of the electrons, inversely proportional to average time between the collisions. But when you compare the number of density, when increases, the collisions go on decreasing. But what happens, this will contribute more to the resistivity. So this will affect the expression more than this tau. And so you see, when temperature increases, N increases, but tau decreases. But increase in N is dominant than decrease in tau, so that overall resistivity decreases. So the first factor is more predominant than the second factor. So when temperature increases, the value of N increases and tau decreases, but increase in N is dominant than decrease in tau. So this is about alpha of semiconductors. Next we are going to see about energy and power in electrical circuits. Energy is different from power, and when you see the circuit diagram, here the battery is connected with the resistor, and the flow of electrons from the charge will flow from A to B and will go like this, and from C to D. So here when the charge moves, suppose if we take dq will move from A to B. When it reaches the battery, it will gain some energy, and it will flow and come to this resistor. Here it will lose the energy. So here the charge will gain energy. here the charge will lose the energy, and so it will go on, the process will go on. So here the expression for potential energy is du is equal to V dq. Here the change in potential energy, V is the potential and dq is the small charge. And what is the rate at which a charge loses its electrical potential in energy can be calculated the following way. So here P is equal to du by dt. Here power is nothing but rate of change of potential energy. Here you change this as U, and instead of du you substitute V dq. V can be taken outside, so P is equal to V into dq by dt. Here V is a constant. And so here I is equal to dq by dt. I is the current. What is the definition for current? Current is rate of flow of charge. So I is equal to dq by dt. So this expression now, this is equal to I. So here P is equal to Pi. Now P is power. And the SI unit of electrical power is watt. What is 1 watt? 1 watt is equal to 1 joule per second, because for energy joule and for time second. And usually the electrical bulbs are given the rating as 5 watt 220 volt, 30 watt 220 volt, 60 watt 220 volt. So usually this is the power supply given to our house. So this is constant 220 volt, but this watt will vary for a bulb to bulb. So 5 watt and here 30 watt, here 60 watt. If more amount of power is given, the bulb will get fused. This is called the rating, voltage rating. For a given bulb, if the voltage drop across a bulb is greater than the voltage rating, the bulb will fuse. So 5 watt means it will give only that particular value, not more than that. And here P is equal to IV, and there are similar expressions for this. You substitute for V IR, because according to Ohm's law, V is equal to IR. So here I square R. Another form of expressing P is P is equal to IV. I can be substituted V by R. So P is equal to V square by R. So there are 3 expressions for P. One expression P is equal to IV. The second expression is P is equal to I square R. And this is the third expression, P is equal to V square by R. What is energy? Energy is power into time. This is main formula. Energy is equal to power into time. And usually in our homes we are using unit. 1 unit, 500 unit per month, 600 unit per month. That is measured in our electrical meter. And what is 1 unit? 1 unit is nothing but 1 kilowatt hour. Kilo means 1000. So 1000 into hour. 1 hour is equal to 3600 seconds. Because for 1 hour 60 minutes and 1 minute 60 seconds. So 60 into 60 will give 3600 seconds. So 1 kilowatt hour is given 3.6 into 10 per 6 joule. This value you should remember. This kilowatt hour is nothing but the unit, which is a term used in our houses for measuring the energy consumed. And this is over. Next we are going to see about electric cells and batteries. So here what is a cell? A cell converts chemical energy into electrical energy. That is the main thing. And here you see the beaker which is filled with any liquid. This sulfuric acid is used here. This sulfuric acid is nothing but electrolyte. Here 2 rods are immersed. One is carbon rod, the other is zinc rod. And usually this is positive terminal, this is negative terminal. The flow of electrons is from negative terminal to the positive terminal. And this is the chemical reaction. There is some chemical reaction inside this electrolyte, and so energy, chemical energy is converted into electrical energy. And here you can see various diagrams for cell and batteries. And in all the cells and batteries, a potential difference is produced across the terminals. That is the main thing. Next we are going to see about electromotive force and internal resistance. What do you mean by internal resistance? Electromotive force, when you simplify that, you will get EMF, but it is not a force, it is a misnomer. Misnomer means we are using the term in a wrong way. Actually this is not a force, but it describes a potential difference in volts. And here electromotive force determines the amount of work a battery or cell does to move a certain amount of charge around the circuit. So electromotive force is nothing but amount of work, that's all. It is not a force, it is amount of work. And usually a ideal battery or real battery is having electrodes and electrolyte. And if a current flows, there is resistance to the flow of charges within the battery. So inside the battery there is one particular type of resistance produced, and this resistance is called internal resistance. It is usually given by the symbol R. And a freshly prepared cell will have low internal resistance and it increases with aging. After a certain period of time, the internal resistance will go on increasing. And so this is about internal resistance. Next we are going to find determination of internal resistance. In this you are having one circuit, and here the cell. This is internal resistance. Actually this is internal resistance. This is inside this battery, but for our understanding it is given outside. Actually this resistance is inside the battery, and R is internal resistance. Here this is voltmeter, which is used to measure voltage. Usually this is high resistance voltmeter. High resistance voltmeter means it will draw only a feeble amount of current. And so this can be considered now as open circuit. Open circuit means the circuit is in the off condition now. And in the next diagram, an external resistance is connected here, that is R. R is internal resistance, capital R is external resistance. And EMF of the cell is usually represented by the symbol psi, is measured by connecting a high resistance voltmeter across it without connecting the external resistance. This is for the first figure. And in the next figure you are connecting an external resistance. When the external resistance is connected here, the expression becomes V is equal to IR according to Ohm's law. But when you see here, suppose if the battery has the value of 5 volts, the voltmeter will show you only 4.5 volt. Why it is showing some lower value? Because of this internal resistance. So actually the value shown is not the actual value. And so here this is voltmeter reading, which is given by psi minus IR. Psi is the real value, that is 5 volt minus IR. When you rearrange this equation, IR is equal to psi minus V. And dividing both the equations, IR divided by IR is equal to psi minus V by V. Here small r is internal resistance, capital R is external resistance, psi is EMF, V is a potential drop. From this you can I and I get cancelled, so R is equal to this expression. And because of this is very important formula. R is equal to psi minus V by V. So here due to this internal resistance, the power delivered to the circuit is not equal to power rating mentioned in the battery. So battery will show some value, but what is measured in the circuit is different from this value. So here we are going to find out power. Power is equal to I psi. Psi is EMF. Psi is replaced by V plus IR, because you know from the previous expression psi is equal to V plus IR. When you substitute V is equal to IR and I can be taken outside inside, so P is equal to I square R plus I square R. So usually power is I square R, and it is split up for both external resistance and internal resistance. But for this the power is very small, and so the entire power is delivered to the resistance. So usually this power is very low. So all the power that is given is delivered to only the resistance. This is the determination of internal resistance using voltmeter, and this expression is very important. R is equal to psi minus V by V into R. Psi is the EMF and V is the voltmeter reading. Usually the voltmeter reading is less than this actual value, so this difference is mentioned here. So that's all about determination of internal resistance using voltmeter.